So in this video I'm just going to go over the setup for game 2 from Prep Test 40 and question 9 for that game. Alright, so we're testing 5 of 7 medications here, so this is partly an in and out game. We're going to have 5 in and 2 out, and then we're ranking the in group, and there are no ties, so the in group will just be ranked from 1st to 5th. Our options for the medications, so our players are right there. Okay, so L second, F or G's first. I is tested, so I has to be in. I can't be out. Okay, and then here we have a scenario where we have a conditional statement in the form A if B. So the way to write that out properly as an if-then statement would be if B, then A. Okay, so in this case that means if both are tested, both referring to H and G, so if H and G are both in, then H ranks higher than G. If G would be higher than H or H would be lower than G, then that means that either H is out or G is out. Okay, so in this game, if G is first, that means H has to be out. So that's probably going to be the best use of the contrapositive. Okay, if K and F are tested, then K ranks better than F. So if F is ranking or could rank better than K, then that's actually not going to work because one or the other of them would have to be out. So in this case, the application of that would be if F is first, then K is out. Okay, and the final rule, if M, then F and H. So if M is in, then F and H are also in. So if F is out or H is out, M is also out, so contrapositive. So yeah, so if, let's see, where might that come into play? So I mean, if K were 5th, then we wouldn't be able to put F in, so F would be out, and then M would also be out, and if F and M are both out, that means every other player has to be in. So that's kind of interesting. That's one way that we could trigger that. Question 9 is asking us for a complete and accurate list of the medications, any one of which could be ranked 5th. Okay, so any one of which could be 5th. So we can start this out with process of elimination based on a couple things that we know. So we do know that L has to be second, right? So C is out because the list can't include L. Okay. The other thing that we can do is we can look at any acceptable solutions that we've created so far. So for the first question, we should have an acceptable solution, right? And in that case, the acceptable solution includes M in the 5th spot. So that means that our list here has to include M. D doesn't include M, so that's out. So those two are fairly simple to eliminate. After that, it's going to get a little bit more complicated, but all of the remaining answers have a couple of players in common, so that helps a bit. So we're looking at A, B, and E. So A, B, and E, they all have G in common and H in common. So G and H, they must be able to be 5th. So we don't actually have to test those. Also M, right? I mean, we know that M can be 5th from the acceptable solution we got before. So yeah, so F and I would be the ones that we would test. F and I being fifth. I, we know, has to be in, and we don't really know much else about it. So if I were to guess, I would guess that I probably can be in. And then with F, I'm not really seeing a real issue with F being fifth either. So if I were strapped for time and I had to guess at this point, because nothing jumps out at me indicating that either of these two could not be fifth, I would just choose E and move on. And E is the correct answer, so I didn't remember that from having done the game before. I just that was sort of what my gut was telling me, based on, you know, I mean, if K and F are in, then F would be after K, but there's no scenario where we would have to put F before K, right? If F is before K, then we run into a problem, right? But there isn't like a trigger for F being before some other player, which would prevent it from being fifth. And like I said, with I, it just has to be in, and there aren't really any other restrictions there. So if I want to be absolutely sure, then I would be testing F and I, right? So I would be coming up with scenarios where this is possible. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. So I'm attempting to create a scenario where F is fifth. If F is fifth, G is going to have to be first, right? If G is before H, which it would have to be here, then one of the two of them would have to be out, and G has to be in here, so H is out. Okay. I has to be one of these two, right? If K and F are in, then K has to be on. If H is out, then M is out, right? And we only have 2 out spots, so these are my remaining players. Okay, and then I can actually just shift this one slightly. So if I is last, how could that look? So I have to have K before F if both of them are in, but this would be a workable solution. Okay, so I've tested both of those, which means that A is out because it doesn't include I, and B is out because it doesn't include F. E is the correct answer because it includes both of them along with G, H, and M. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.